Hand to God, biggest fear. Hand to God, biggest fear. I'm taking a shower. I slip on some soap. I fucking have a concussion. And I die butt ass naked in the shower. And when the coroner people find me, it's just, you know, it's just
how's the dick so tiny? What is going on there?
Forget the death. We need to medically examine that.
That's a scientific miracle. What the fuck is that, dude? Holy shit.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. Hand to God, that's my biggest fear though. They were talking at mom and dad's house. We were talking about on Sunday.
Where was the invite, nigga? Do y'all want me to die?
Yo, listen, how many times you go to mom and dad's and don't invite me?
Not very often, nigga.
Very often, nigga. Very often.
Not recently.
Don't pull that not here recently shit with me. You understand?
It's been a while.
Don't pull that not here recently shit with me, all right?
I only went because I have no one here to make dinner for me, Michael.
I don't care. You over here pulling that not here recently shit. You know how many times I've called you up and like, oh yeah, my mom and dad's, we're eating fucking steaks. I want to eat a goddamn steak.
I can't put their steak up for the menu. I can't put that up for them. Mom said she had an extra steak, and I said, all right, I'll take the extra steak. You have TT making dinner for you, ass.
So? I don't care.
I gotta watch you every Tuesday eating some type of dinner that TT made you. Meanwhile, Kaiser's the only thing over here that's keeping me company.
Damn, teach Kaiser some new tricks then.
Fuck you.
We were at mom and dad's house on Sunday, and we were talking about they were talking about somebody coming into the house while they're taking a shower, like breaking into the house while they're taking a shower or whatever. And I was like, nah, it's like that's not. I mean, that doesn't worry me at all. Like, you know, we try to make sure that the house stays relatively like locked up, you know. And so like the house is usually locked, so I'm not usually worried about that. What I'm worried about is I'm worried about nobody finding me and then finding me, you know. Because you know the rumor on the street is, right, like when you die, that all of the insides that you have, you know, that are holding things together, you're gonna shit
yourself,
just let it go.
Yeah, it's all just a shitty pissy mess.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And it's just like that's part of the CSI. That's part of the fucking. That's part of the fucking Criminal Minds.
They're not in a TV show at all. Actually, bro. You would just you're saying they don't show you that?
No, but they don't show you that part. They don't show you the part where like the person like shits themselves. You know,
why the
like
fuck would they show you that?
Well, I mean, you know, like we're sitting here talking about Vinland Saga, right? Or we're going to be talking about Vinland Saga here in a little bit, right? And there's one of the episodes, I want to say it's like episode 12, when they're walking around and there's like there's like soldiers all across the battlefield and everything like that. And they're like, well, no, they're like oh man, this is like the smell of blood or whatever. It's not the smell of blood in the air, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, fuck the blood, bro. It's gotta smell like shit everywhere.
Yeah,
like
I saw this TikTok today actually. I was talking about like why zombies, like what's something that people like don't think about with a zombie, like what's it called? And it's gonna smell like ass everywhere you go, like really bad everywhere you go. Oh, if you go to a place that has no people, it's gonna smell so bad because zombies they're decaying, right?
Yeah.
First of all, that everywhere. A dead body smells like ass, bro.
Yeah.
So that combined with like everything else is gonna go to shit, like all the factories and everything like that, gonna start smelling like ass and stuff like that. No one's taking the trash out. It's gonna smell like ass all the time.
Yeah,
and you have to be able to brave that all the time. You know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm thinking zombie apocalypse. Just kill me now.
Yeah, I gotta be honest. If it got to that point where like and it's for sure we're not gonna be able to like get out of this for like a couple hundred years. Like even like fucking even.
Well, shit, I don't even know if it's
honestly.
I feel like if it's like 10 years, bro. Yeah.
More than 5 even.
Cut me out, bro. Give me the
fuck
out of here. Because you gotta think about it. Because you gotta
guaranteed.
Exactly.
After that 5 years, everything's gonna get back to normal. It's gonna take that 5 years, and you have to like you're starting.
That's just to get the cure
again.
That's just to get the cure,
bro.
You know what I mean? You know? And then you gotta think about like you said maybe you get it in 5 years. Right. But in that 5 years, right, you've got to unlearn everything that you know from like modern living, you know?
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to fucking.
You can't take showers.
Yeah, you gotta have showers. You got to figure out how to bathe yourself. You got to figure out how to fucking. Well, at least find the water to bathe yourself. Excuse me.
You
figure out how to cook.
Gone.
Yeah,
all the food's
dude.
Gone. There's no refrigerators.
Well, you got canned food. Canned food stay pretty well for a while, apparently. That sounds.
Yeah, and that's my issue.
You gotta be. What's funny is you gotta be a different
every day.
As I say, you gotta be a different level of picky to not eat canned food in the middle of a fucking I mean,
I would eat it if I absolutely had to, but like, that's what I'm saying. If it's gonna be longer than 5 years, I mean, I might as well just take the L and like kind of sit it out, let God decide where I go next. No, at that point, that's not even on me anymore.
I gotta sit it out, let God decide where I go next.
Gotta. At that point. I don't know what else to do, man.
I'm fucking dead, bro. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to twitch.tv/regulargamingguys_. This, of course, is your home for regular gamers. We stream every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, normally from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. But, of course, if you're watching this live right now, you know that we are we are about an hour late. You know, about 2 hours late, excuse me. And now you're probably asking yourself, Mike, why are you guys 2 hours late? Well, Mike, I'll respond and I'll answer you. I tried to be productive. I tried to be productive and tried to hook the stream PC back up. I was like, you know what? Bosh Garnet, let's figure this out. Let's get this going. And you know the best time to test things is when you're going live. Stream. Right before you go live. Then that's when you find out that everything has gone to shit and it doesn't work anymore. But of course today is we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the fact that we watched Vinland Saga episodes 10 through 12. Of course, we're continuing our watch along for the Vinland Saga, and talk about what other anime shows, because this is Tuesday and it's your anime bros getting back together to discuss and talk about the things that they want to talk about in anime. Mitch, let's begin the show with what we usually start the show off with. I think not really, because we don't really have a fucking structure for this. Not at all. Let's start with what have you been watching right
now? So I finished Greatest Demon Lord Reincarnated as Typical Nobody. Again, after finishing it, it was okay. If I had to give it a 1 out of 10, I would give it a no more than a 7, but probably a 6.
So Brandon, during our the Disney watch along, or Disney watch along, excuse me, the Disney review thing, he brought up an idea for like a workshop, or an idea for a rating scale for us as like a workshop idea. I believe the scale was a 3-point scale.
I remember that. Yeah, no, it was
2 thumbs up. It was a 4-point scale.
I thought it was 4-point scale. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead and say what you thought it was.
I thought it was 3-point scale. 2 thumbs up, 1 thumbs up, no thumbs up. Good. Okay. Fuck it.
Well, then I definitely give it a okay. I definitely have to give it a 1. I don't think I can give it a 0 because it wasn't terrible, but like, it definitely wasn't anything to. I think 3 numbers is too little. Like when you're describing, there's a lot of details to describe, though. I feel like.
Well, I feel like 3 can, or like okay can be, you know, in between, like it was okay versus it was okay. You know what I mean?
Basically, you're using 1, 5, and 10.
1, 5, and 10. What do you mean?
You would just be using 1, 5, 10. You know, never mind. All right. Yeah. Either way, I give it okay. If anything, I give it a 6 out of 10. On Brandon's scale, I give it a fucking. It's a 1 thumbs up. Okay. Yeah, just nothing. The animation style wasn't bad. I enjoyed watching the fights that I did get to see, but like it seemed stuff happened just to happen.
Yeah.
And it was like one of those isekai things where like the main character's OP as fuck and you knew who was gonna win, but it wasn't like any of the side characters did anything impressive to really like keep my attention. The story itself it kept moving all over the place. You know? So I wasn't like super fucking enthralled about it. After that, I went. Go ahead.
I'll say, now when you say all over the place, do you mean like
so they would kill a boss, move to the next guy within like 3 episodes or 4 episodes?
So the pacing it was very fast pacing.
Yeah, very fast pacing. Yeah,
fast pacing. Okay, yeah, that's what I would say. That is fast pacing.
Fast pacing with like not enough detail, in my opinion.
Okay.
And then we got after that, I went and I started watching Berserk because I think this was like when I think I finished. Or yeah, my bad, Bastard. I finished watching Reincarnated fucking dude. I think I finished that like at like 9, and I went right over to Bastard and I watched like an episode of that. And I was like, all right, well, I'm tired, and I went to bed. I only got like 4 episodes deep, but that show hasn't kept me really in.
See, that's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was talking about with that. Is like that one is definitely one of those shows where it's like
fucking. You can play it in the background, but I wasn't super excited about it. Also, it's just a bunch of that's just a bunch of fan service is really what that is.
Yes.
It's over the top fan service with mediocre fucking fighting, and like the nigga knows like 4 moves.
Yes.
That I've seen so far. And
but
he just uses the same
like
over and
super
over again.
powerful moves, apparently.
Yeah, just uses it over and over and over again. It's like a wannabe ass Issa guy. So I dropped that after 4 episodes. I probably won't pick it back up. Yeah. And then I moved on to Spy Family, which I really, really, really fucking enjoyed.
Told you, man. Almost
brought tears to my eyes.
What?
Made me realize how single I was.
Oh my god. What episode?
I think now. I thought I would not necessarily. All right, so I want to say necessarily tears per se.
It wasn't like a specific episode, but it was like
it wasn't really a specific episode I'm thinking of. But what's the one that stuck with me was of course the episode where the castle episode.
Oh, that episode's so beautiful, bro. I love that episode so much, man. I love that episode so much.
The funniest episode to me of those was the Dodgeball episode, of course.
Oh yeah, the Dodgeball episode is really
over the top, like how what's her name? Oh, the mom.
Oh, Yor.
Yeah. Yor's fucking throwing the goddamn dodgeball across the entire fucking city, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
I was that's a basic ass dodgeball. How the fuck is she throwing that shit with such velocity? There's so many moments in that show where it's like over the top, and it reminded me kind of the episode of the kickball episode of Boondocks.
A little bit,
really fucking over the top serious. They really did not have to get super serious.
Yeah,
but I still appreciated the fuck out of it. And I enjoy like all like the. They didn't really have a bunch of fight scenes per se, but I enjoyed like the story that went behind it. I mean, I really fucking I want to see how this shit like ends. I really want to see what the fuck's about to happen next. Yeah, so I'm really excited for season 2 because.
So you saw the stuff with the brother and so you finished? Did you finish it or did you?
I finished it.
Okay. So you saw the stuff with the brother and everything.
2 days to finish because that's how much I enjoyed that shit.
Yeah, no, that was okay. My bad. Finish up. You're saying?
Yeah, I saw the shit with the brother and all that stuff, and I wanted. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many intertwining factors that have not been explained yet that I want to know the answers to. And it's a really good story. Yeah. So yeah, I would give that on a scale of 10, 9, bare minimum 8, probably 9. I can see the argument for 10. That's definitely 2 thumbs up. I think everyone should watch it. If you like anime, definitely give it a watch. I fucking loved it. Fucking Wit always does great when it comes to animation styles. If you really enjoy story, it has a really good fucking storyline. Everyone's gonna fucking love Anya if you watch that shit. If you don't, you might be a sociopath.
What's funny and what's interesting about that show too, right? Is I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't say that it has a. I wouldn't say that it has a really great storyline. I feel like it has a very basic storyline. You know, at the end of the day, the goal is just to get in the mission. Right, like that's what the overarching plot or whatever. What I think works really well for that show is watching the character developments, right? Like, or watching the character dynamics rather not the development.
For sure. No, for sure.
And I feel like that's really what carries the show is it's more the character dynamics than it is the actual plot. Because I honestly could give 2 fucks about like whether or not he gets
saves the world.
Yeah, saves the world at the end of the day.
I mean,
what I really care about is like watching him grow as like because the parts for me that were super endearing were
I consider like character development part of the story and everything like that though. That's why I was saying that. So continue what you were saying. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. But what I was saying was I'm more interested in watching him become like a better person, if that makes sense, right? And I feel like that's not really the plot of the show. Like I wouldn't say that's the plot of the show, right? Like I wouldn't say that's like the main point of the show. I feel like the main point of the show is let's try to save the world. Is the mission at the end of the day.
I feel like a lot more people like want to see what his. I feel like more people are where we're at though. We get more fucked about the character development and seeing where he's going to be at the end of the series versus because he's probably going to 95% chance he saves the world. You know?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's going to save the world. So I'm not that captured by that. When I said like I was really enthralled with like the story and everything like that, I should have definitely said character development instead, because that's more so what I was like hinting at. Is I've enjoyed seeing Yor being more of a mom. Fucking Anya's kind of growing. She's still like she's Anya.
She's 5 years old. And that's what
she's a kid.
What do you expect? Yeah.
And then fucking why can't I remember his name? Twilight. Well, what's Twilight's actual name? Or what name of the show?
Lloyd.
And then Lloyd's fucking grows as a father with Anya. You can see it. You can definitely see being 12 episodes in. You can definitely see how much different he is from episode 1. You know.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not as...
He keeps like saying it's for the sake of the mission, but deep down he's fucking like, no, dude, he actually enjoys being a father.
I feel like it's definitely part of... Yeah, I feel like it's really going to be about him or whatever. And I mean, I could see an argument for people saying that, like, well, you know, that is technically the actual plot of the story. That's not the the mission is like a subplot in that with
exactly. That's what I think. That's what I think it is. I feel more so as that, as like the character development of Lloyd versus him saving the world, because again, I think he's going to save the world probably. And then so I watched all those. Yeah. And then after I finished Spy Family, I was like, oh, I got to pick something else up. I don't want to just fucking sit around and not do anything. And I picked up The Rising of Shield Hero, and I'm like, I think 3 episodes in now, and it's pretty fucking fire. It's off to episode 1's an hour long, so
okay. An hour long? Oh shit.
47 minutes.
Okay.
But yeah, it's so far I am very, very impressed with the... I now see everyone's big rage about it, and they definitely play into the whole idea of him being a shield hero. Like, what the fuck are you doing with a shield? Yeah. But I'm excited to see how they make this nigga powerful. Because as of right now, he kind of has to use somebody else to like be his sword, and he's the shield. And like that. But so far, I have enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I really don't have much of a synopsis right now because I've only seen... I think I'm only actually 2 episodes in. Yeah, I'm on episode 3 right now, so I don't have very much of a synopsis right now. But the premise of the series is pretty much there's this town, and it connected 4 different time periods of Japan. One dude entered via a book, one dude entered via a VR headset, one entered through a video game, and one entered through some other means. But basically, these 4 guys who entered are all heroes who have been summoned to save the world. And they're all given a special weapon, a staff or spear staff, a bow and arrow, a shield, and a sword. And the sword hero is pretty much ousted because, you know, he's a sword, or the shield hero is ousted because, you know, he rocks a shield. And everyone's like, "Who? What the fuck are you about to do?" No one gives a fuck about a shield. Yeah. So it's pretty much like downplayed and everything like that. And in the first episode, you pretty much see him kind of get played by one of these people, and it kind of turns him into this kind of asshole, not asshole, but he realizes that this world is like kind of fucked up. So yeah, he kind of pretty much closes out all emotion because he starts off like a really nice guy, and then that happens. He's like, all right, fuck it, bro. Everyone else wants to be a dickhead. I'm gonna be a dickhead too. So he's kind of an ass. But yeah, so I've 3 episodes in on that, and I definitely plan on watching all that through because season 2 is already out. I plan on watching all the way up to season 2 for sure.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that's it for me right now.
This is up. Yeah, I mean, I think at the moment, I really don't have too much that I updated on as far as animes. You know, I'm over here looking at my watch list right now. Watched up to episode 8 of Bastards, and I'd have to agree with you, right? Like, it's definitely one of those shows where it's like, to me, the story. It's one of those shows that's like I feel like when people think of traditional anime, or when people think of anime, like that's the kind of shit that they're thinking of, right?
Exactly.
Like when people not to speak bad about the show or anything like that, like not to try to like put it down, but I mean, in my humble opinion, I don't think it's great by any stretch of the imagination.
I would give, honestly, as of right now, based off what I've seen, I'd give it no higher than a 5.
Yeah,
I'd give it no higher than a 5.
I don't think
it had potential to be better. I feel like, but I feel like it's the same thing over and over. I've watched this man in the first 4 episodes pretty much just defeat the guy. The same. Someone comes in, he defeats him using the same exact move. Yeah, and then a new woman comes into play, and he's like, "Oh, now he has to talk to this woman and everything."
That's kind of been the thing, right? That's kind of been like that, like the building the team, like the building the team mentality for that show, right? And you know that in combination with like the over the top fan service, with like the set pieces are okay but not great. You know, like I feel like I've seen those types of set pieces before, and like he doesn't really strike me. It's another one of those shows where it's like the plot, like things seem to happen just because they have to happen, right? Absolutely. And like not to like spoil anything for you, but there's an episode where he comes in.
I don't mind if you do, dude. I promise. I'm for sure not going to pick it back up anytime soon.
And there's an episode where he ends up fighting this. He ends up having to fight like 3 different generals like through the course of these 3 episodes, right? And each general, you know, he kind of beats kind of the same way, right? Like he the general thinks they're smarter than what they are. He comes in, they think all his stories. They think all his stories are like
what everyone did when they faced him.
Yeah, exactly.
The same thing happens when he faces the fucking first 3 people he faces through episodes 1 through 4. Everyone's like, "Oh, he's not real. No, he's not strong," and he whoops that ass. And it's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, but I mean, with these 3 generals, they're all females, and apparently he just has like a way with women just is like so. It's so like I don't want to use the word. I don't want to use the word toxic masculinity, but it is one of those like it is one of those things where it's like, you're like my. Like I'm a man, like you're supposed to love me because I'm like beautiful looking and everything.
No,
but
it's
like,
definitely toxic. That nigga's a dickhead.
Yeah, it's not good, right? And I don't think I'm gonna go back to finishing it, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The relationships that were built, combined with the fact that like the rest of the show is kind of just has really turned me off from that show. I'm like, it's not really anything too crazy.
Yeah, something has to happen in order for me to actually want to go back to that. Like I have to see something online in order to want to go back to that.
A dope ass fight.
Yeah, like a really good fight.
I don't think there's ever gonna be a chance for that because then they use the same move over and over again.
Aside from that, let me look at Crunchyroll. That was on Netflix. On Crunchyroll. I've been kind of anime list this past week. Aside from Vinland Saga and everything, and catching up on that, which watching up through the episodes that we've watched so far. Like after episode 12, I wanted to keep going.
I did too.
Like it's definitely one of those things where it's like I always want to keep going.
These were for sure set pieces. I feel like
they were pieces that were like building into each other. And they were all
watch episode. It took a lot out of me not to continue on because I started watching today at like 12.
Yeah,
I was like, I want to just watch the rest of the shit.
I just want to finish the whole thing, right?
But
we'll keep going.
I don't want to fucking like spoil it for myself. No.
Yeah, no, that's about it for me.
Okay.
And of course, I've had like the normal, like I've had a couple of conversations, which this kind of leads us into some of the news for this week. I think I got like 3. Really just one news story, and I feel like this one will take us a minute, and so we can kind of like go into and it'll lead into like a bigger conversation. I feel like this is over the weekend we've got news, or we were shared. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
It's from my headset, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, we'll wait just a second for Mitchell to get cut back in. And we will do my show share screen. Nope. And then we will turn off.
Of course.
Non-video participants.
At important times, stuff stops working.
Well, always and forever. Just waiting while we're waiting for Mitch. Yeah. No, I feel like but seriously, why wait for Mitch? I feel like this is going to be a good topic of conversation.
This laptop's putting in overtime right now. I feel like.
Hey, listen, man, the laptop's putting in overtime. Dude. You can't hear what I'm saying. Okay.
It appears to me that it sounds like a jet engine at the moment.
No, you're good.
Okay, let's fucking do this then. How about we try? Oh, wait. Try this one then.
Anyway, as I was saying, no, I feel like this would be a good talking point, right? Like I feel like I think a lot of people have talked about this over the last couple of. I mean, for a while, like this has been something that we've talked about, as like a community, anime community anyway, for a long time, and that's live action movies coming to real life, or live action movies coming to real life. The adaptations of anime to live action, right? And we've got a couple of shows here that are in the works that are coming out. Of course, we have a lot of really bad examples, and we have a lot of really good examples, right? Obviously there are more bad than good, but there are some good ones out there. Like if you haven't seen the Death Note movies, those are all really good. The Ronin Kenshin one is really good. All 3 parts. I think Kenshin's in 3 parts. I know Death Note's in 3 parts for sure. Trying to think, there's another one that I thought that was pretty good. Oh, here he is.
Hold up.
There he is.
There we are.
I was just talking about what I'm talking about is like the live action anime adaptations, right? And I'm sharing it with you right now, but we got screenshots for the Yu Yu Hakusho one coming from Netflix, right?
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, and so I wanted to show you these and get your initial impressions on them and talk to you about them or whatever. And then I wanted to get your idea on, I know we've talked about it briefly before, but your thoughts on live action adaptations to begin with.
I haven't seen a live adaptation of like an anime or a cartoon well, not necessarily cartoon, but an anime for sure that like has really made me want to watch any more of them. I want one to be good so I can like fucking actually enjoy it. And I feel like if we have shit like fucking I know this is a hard comparison because Marvel has all this fucking money dumping into it every year. Yeah. But like I feel like and I've seen like people with their not flip phones, but like their own at home setup makes better movies than some of these Netflix live adaptations,
Yeah.
And so I've been let down by them time and time again. When I can see they have the quality to like fucking Iron Man shooting a beam should be the same as like it could be the same as Goku shooting a Kamehameha wave. But him shooting a Kamehameha wave looks so fucking dumb.
Yeah. Well, see, the one thing that I was talking to, we were watching YouTuber. He goes by the name of Rhyme Style. He's on obviously he's on YouTube or whatever. But he put up a video that was talking about these screenshots and everything. He was talking about live action adaptations and anime to live action adaptations and things like that. And one of the things I was talking to Celinda about as we were watching that video is that like I feel like the problem is that it's really hard to translate the vibe of an animated show into live action.
What do you mean?
Like it's hard to nail the aesthetic, if that makes sense, in like for example with the Cowboy Bebop shit, right? Like Spike's the tabletop kick that he does where he's on his hands and does like the little spin kick or whatever. Like that's really cool to watch in like an anime form, right?
But it's hard
but it's hard as a bitch to do in like real life, right? And it's hard as a bitch to do without looking silly or goofy, right?
Silly as fuck,
yeah. And so it's tough for them. And then like even like of course not to excuse the atrocity that was Dragon Ball Evolution, but like you talk about the Kamehameha wave, right? Like I feel like I still feel like an actual like well done Kamehameha is still not going to hit the same way like an animated one is gonna hit, right? And I feel like we've gotten the best that we possibly can as far as like when it comes to like that kind of stuff so far.
I feel like it could be better.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be better. I do get what you're saying. Like we're never gonna see a fucking moment where Goku's sliding on someone's fucking like ki blast and doing a Kamehameha. We're never gonna see that a fucking Kefla versus Goku moment. We're not gonna see that at least anytime soon live action,
Yeah. Without it looking silly.
Semi goofy.
Yeah. And so I feel like that's kind of like the hardest thing to do with but that's like one of the hardest things to do with these live action shows is to kind of translate it into an actual like live action set piece, right? And do it and choreograph it the same. Not saying it's impossible, but I feel like it is harder to do because there's just naturally
it might be one of the easier ones like Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that we were getting to, right? Like there are adaptations that are done really well, and I feel like the shows that lend themselves the best to doing a live action version are the shows that require a little bit less like CG work, right? Like the Death Note movies, the Japanese version, the Japanese Death Note movies are all really good, right? Like I feel like all you really need to do is get somebody who cares about the source material to write a decent story for that universe, get characters and get actors who can deliver the lines and deliver the performances, to deliver the performances to actually sell these like things and make them not sound like cheesy and corny, right? To be able to take it over the top and take it to the like the next level for it to feel like a a high production quality a thing.
Yeah.
So, but now these are the images that came out over the weekend. Of course, you got at the top, you've got the four stills of all four characters, the four main characters, different powers. Of course, Yusuke Spirit Gun, Kurama's Rose Whip, or Rose that turns into the Rose Whip. Hiei, undoing the bandage that has the Dragon of the Darkness flame on it, and then Kuwabara kind of standing there looking cool with his jacket off and everything, not really showing his spirit sword, but and then they came out with like the individual images for the different characters, right? So this is Yusuke right here, which I think Yusuke looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, cool. I think he looks pretty dope.
I will say Kurama kind of look that Kurama.
Yeah, that's Kurama.
Right. I guess. Okay.
So one of the things that Linda pointed out, is like his hair is probably darker to make it look more realistic. Because I mean, honestly, the color red that Kurama's hair is in the show,
that's fair,
is actually impossible to do
in real life. You're right.
In real life, impossible to do. Yeah, without it looking actually weird. You are. So correct. I feel like this is a good take on it, right?
That's fair.
People had a lot to say about Hiei.
That's Hiei?
That's Hiei right there.
Oh no!
You don't like it?
Yeah.
I think he looks all right. I think he looks pretty cool. I like to touch the blue eyes in there. Hinting at
it's just his hair looks. I guess Hiei's hair in the series. Again, there's always gonna be some give and take when you have to go into fucking adaptation versus
the actual anime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What does fucking Kuwabara look like?
That's Kuwabara right there. Yeah, I will say out of all of these, Kuwabara actually is the one I'm least. I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, but again, he looks goofy. Whose hair is standing up that tall, without it looking like goofy as fuck?
The Pompadour, he could do that. Yeah, I feel like you could do a Pompadour in real life.
Yeah,
I mean, they look kind of cool. You know what I mean? I will say, if there's one character that I wish. I understand why they didn't, but if there's one character that I wish they would have like made a white guy, it would be Kuwabara.
It's cool, right? Yeah,
it would be Kuwabara.
I thought Kuwabara was going to be a white guy.
Yeah, because I've always been under the impression that Kuwabara was like an American. White. Mm-hmm. Somehow an American that somehow ended up getting like moved to Japan for some reason, whether it's family, whether it's parents things or and it could be the way that the English voice actor did his voice, or it could just be the character of Kuwabara like the way he is. I don't know.
No, that's definitely because even his sister, I kind of get the same vibe. Like I feel like they're American. I get mad American vibes from them too.
Yeah, who else I get mad American vibes from? Old boy who runs the Dark Tournament.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Agreed. That's what it is. Gives you American vibes.
Yeah. hella American vibes. Chill out.
I'm weak.
But these are just some of the reactions from these posts and everything. This gives me Jujutsu Kaisen gives me chills. Get out of here.
Are you on Twitter?
None of these. Are you on Twitter? This is just Twitter. Yeah,
it's just Twitter. It's a dangerous game you're playing right now, dog.
Oh yeah, just the scrolling. Yeah. No, that's cool. But no, that's all I really wanted to talk about as far as like discussing with like the live action stuff or whatever. I think it's gonna be good. I still have hopes for it. I mean, I'll say high hopes. I'm cautiously optimistic. That's right. Fair. Like I don't think none of these things really turn me off from it, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet that's making me like not outside like Kurama looking kind of. Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet that's gonna. I need to see a trailer.
Yeah, I think the first exactly. I think the first thing that's gonna make me turn me off is gonna be the
trailer looks dumb.
Yeah, it's gonna see what the actual power scale or powers look like in the show.
Same as One Punch Man. We're not One Punch, but fucking One Piece. Same as that.
Yeah, exactly.
I need trailers before I can do anything else. I need trailers, and I hope they come out as good because it's 2022, man. I've seen some pretty dope live action stuff done by people via TikTok, dude. So I know for a fact if you're getting on Netflix, man, you got to have some type of quality.
Well, so the good news is that this is being done by the guys that did what's the name of that show? Alice in Borderland, which apparently is like it's on Netflix, and it's apparently it's a really really well done show as far as like graphics quality, cinematography, all that kind of stuff. And so some of one of the executive producers, they're going to be one of the producers on those show is serving as executive producer on this show, and so it's hopefully that some of that kind of bleeds in and we get some good stuff from it. But yeah, no, I'm in 100% agreement that I feel like once we see a trailer, then we'll kind of be, we'll kind of know where to gauge it. Are we talking about a Bleach or are we talking about a Death Note? You know what I mean? Because let me tell you, both of those not that great. Netflix has a really bad track record. Let's just say that.
They have a terrible track record.
Netflix has a really, really bad track record.
It's not good at all.
Yeah. Without further ado, Mitch, let's go ahead and we kind of started it off already. Let's jump into this Vinland Saga stuff, bro. Let's talk about these episodes that we just got because I feel like we've got some good stuff.
You pull up the explanation of the video or the little mini slip ups. What are they called?
The synopsis.
Synopsis. Thank God.
There you go. So yeah, pull up the synopsis for Vinland Saga for the episodes 10, 11, and 12. Of course, we every week we've been watching 3 episodes of Vinland Saga and coming back together on Tuesdays to discuss and review what we think about the show so far. We are now, as of watching episode 12, we are now halfway through season 1, which is pretty good. Mitch, before we get into the actual episodes, I want to know what your thoughts are about season 1 overall. Of course, being halfway through, what are your thoughts as of right now? As far with regards to season 1.
I am pretty high on it at the moment.
Yeah,
and I'm glad they finally brought it to Netflix. I feel like it definitely should help with like people like being able to watch this series now. A lot of people didn't watch the series because they couldn't.
Yeah,
and a lot of people have seen that the fights are really fucking good. It's just that you can't really fucking watch it because not many people have Amazon Prime, or don't really have. Not a lot of people I know that don't have Amazon Prime Video. Like I didn't.
One of the things that I would say also is that I feel like it's not even necessarily just having Amazon Prime. I feel like it's not. I feel like a lot of people don't go to Amazon Prime Video for anime.
Exactly.
Right. And I feel like in the last few years, Amazon is trying to get more into that space, and they're doing a pretty good job. That was the first place I saw Kabanari and the Iron Fortress, which was like that the zombie Fire Force meets Attack on Titan show or whatever. That was up there. I'm trying to think of what else came up there first. I was gonna say Promised Neverland, but that was Hulu, not Amazon Prime. Made in the Abyss, Vinland Saga. A couple other shows, that have come to like Amazon Prime only. And I feel like, they've done they're doing a better job of trying to get people to like come to Amazon to watch, watch these shows or whatever. But yeah, it did. I do agree with you that it did take a minute because I think this VO, the VO, excuse me, the English dub has been done for a minute. Like I think it's been done for a while because I've been seeing clips online for the English dub for
I know the show came out in 2019.
Yeah,
so
it came out
makes
a while
sense
ago.
that it's 2022. I expect the English dub to be all over now.
Yeah. Well, where are you at with season 1 so far? What are you liking about it? What are you not liking about it? All that stuff.
I don't really have very many dislikes. I mean, I got out of the phase of seeing Thorfinn get his ass kicked over and over again, or that's pretty dope. I haven't had it. That was my biggest complaint. I was getting tired of seeing that through the first couple of episodes. So I was like, when the fuck is this dude gonna pick his shit up and figure the fuck out? But I don't think there's really any other complaints per se. I've enjoyed all the fights so far. I think the animation is fucking amazing, but again, it's wit. So what else? Every time we fucking talk about, I don't think there's gonna be a point in time in this entire series where we're like, oh, that was a bad episode. Yeah, that's gonna happen. To the storyline, these are definitely 3 set piece episodes, which was what made us want to watch episodes 14 or episodes 13 on. And we had to stop so we could properly review episodes 10, 11, and 12. But it definitely, I'm 12 in, and I still want more. So that's a really good thing. I would give it on a scale of 1 to 10. I definitely give it at least an 8. It's kind of like fucking probably a 9. So I haven't had any issues with it so far. I don't want to give it a 10 yet because I don't know how the last 12 are going to be. So far I definitely want to give it an 8, maybe a 9. I could see the argument for a 9.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would have to. I think I would have to second those sentiments, right? Like I think so far, I think even like your slower episodes, right, have been, even your slower episodes have kind of always meant something, right? They've kind of like played an important role in what's going on. And you have the slower episodes. I feel like you have the slower episodes because the episodes when things are moving fast, they're moving really, really fast. And so it's a nice like change of pace to kind of like take a little reprieve and kind of, you know, sit with our characters for a little bit. Yeah, get our shit together, sit with our characters for a little bit, and then, you know, kind of move on. I'll have to also agree that I like the fact that we're starting to get to a point like we're 12, like you said, we're 12 deep, and I want more. I want to continue to watch, and I want to see. I'm like really enjoying. I'm really vibing with like the entire cast. Like I don't think there's really a character that the only there's really a character that I dislike, right? Of course, you know, in the beginning of the series, you're kind of meant to dislike Askeladd, right? Because, you know, of what happened. Yeah, because of what happened with Thor's and everything, and Thorfinn kind of being there. You're kind of meant to like side with Thorfinn. But it's funny because the more we go on with this show, the more I'm kind of starting to. I don't know if it's because I'm kind of like I'm seeing like the look in Askeladd's face. Like you can kind of see a man who's like thinking about like, what is my legacy? Like, what am I leaving behind? And he's starting to care more about that than he is really caring about like, you know, there's more to him is essentially what I'm trying to get at. There's more to him than what meets the eye.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like as I was saying it, I felt like it was maybe a bit of a stretch to say that he's looking to like, you know, build a legacy and build a family and stuff like that. But I do think that he is trying to pass on something to. I do think he is at the end of the day trying to pass on something to, you know, his crew. Thorfinn to Thorfinn, to his crew, for sure. To everybody, right? Like he's trying to like somehow leave an impact on.
I
the world.
It's just like this is the. I think I quickly got over the whole hating of Askeladd thing very fast because I realized that this is just a warrior's world that they live in.
Yeah,
and like it you kind of have to do what you have to do to survive.
Yeah,
and you can see that he's not like I mean he's a piece of shit dude, but like he still has honor, shit like that, you know. Yeah. He still has, at the end of the day, he kind of still has honor. So it's to an extent, yeah. Definitely to an extent. So I can still respect him because he knows when to play the honor card, quote unquote. Yeah. Yeah, and he hasn't done anything else that's really like rubbed me. No one in the series really has done anything that's really rubbed me the wrong way. Yeah. Where I'm like, oh, I really don't like that person.
And I kind of like, you know, I think it helps also that, you know, he died or that Thor's died so early on in the series. So that way we didn't like grow super duper attached. Yeah, to build that connection to him. Because I feel like had we built that connection to him. If it's
episode 12 and he dies, then I hate Askeladd for sure.
Oh, I hate Askeladd for the rest of the show, right? And like anything that he does.
I'm where Thorfinn's at.
Exactly. Yeah, no, so yeah, no, that's kind of where it's good to hear that we're both kind of on the same page and excited to keep going. Of course, episode 10, Ragnarok, that starts the description, the synopsis reads like this: Ragnar's men becomes impatient with the current siege, them trying to take over. That's them trying to take over London. They're spurred by the taunts of Thorkel. Of course, Thorkel's still like defending London like to the fucking T. I loved him throwing the rocks at everybody and like, you know, being like, yo, what the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck is y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna do some shit or whatever? On the flip side, you also have Askeladd's men who are also becoming kind of bitches. Yeah, he was launching them rocks, bro. He's launching the fuck out of them rocks. You also have Askeladd's men kind of becoming impatient with Askeladd for not doing as much as they think, you know, as they think they should, right? You know, they're kind of, they feel like they should be doing more, they should be fighting more, and they don't have as many resources or whatever. And I think this is part of this is where I was kind of like, I feel like Askeladd is kind of getting tired of the whole fighting thing, and this is where we have that great moment.
You definitely can kind of see it.
Yeah, this is definitely where we have that great moment with but we had that great moment with him and Thorfinn where they're talking, right? Where they're having the conversation about like
on the hill.
Yeah, on the hill. They had that really great conversation on the hill, talking about like this kind of being the era that, you know, the Askeladd grew up in is kind of coming to an end, and this is the beginning of a new era. And, you know, how are you going to take advantage of this?
Empire's rise and fall.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that conversation they had.
Yeah. And then of course that ends with them finding out that we flip back to the men over at London. They then end up getting attacked by Thorkel. Thorkel's like, you know what? Oh fuck, you know,
I'll bring that shit to them, nigga.
Yeah, he finds out that
Can I ask why? I know I cut you off, but can I ask why Escalade cut the head off of the dude? Was just bringing the message over to. Oh, never mind. I remember now. Continue.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think it was because he was trying to. They're trying to take credit for everything.
No, exactly. No, it's actually that's absolutely what it was. I forgot.
They're trying to take credit for the entire thing, and they don't want to say that that men came over to them. They want to try to say that they happened upon this information and they, you know, took it upon themselves to go fight the man. You know, But no, Thorkel shows up or whatever. Thorkel's like, yo, he shows up to the guys over at Ragnar's men over in London. Shows up over there to them. It's like, yo, man, I'm about to, you know, fuck this shit up. You know, I heard that the prince's son or the king's son is over here. I want to capture him. You know, if you're supposed to be this all powerful, you know, prince, then let's see what you got and everything. Then of course he gets captured. You know, so that leads them to getting captured or whatever. And that's what leads into us finding out. That's what ends up leading into the next episode.
The prince is kind of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, I don't even necessarily know if he's like a bitch, right? But I feel like it's one of those things where he definitely doesn't fuck with like fighting, right? He definitely doesn't fuck with fighting. And I feel like, you know, for a long time, I feel like it's gonna be one of those things where his like dad was the one that handled most of the fighting and handled most of that kind of stuff, and you know, he didn't really pass or try to pass that knowledge on to him, in a good way anyway, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's where Ragnarok ends anyway, which is a fitting title, right? Like, you know, Ragnarok is like supposed to be the end of the world, and it's the, you know, beginning of the end. That's what the conversation that Askeladd and Thorfinn kind of have on the mountain at the end of the episode, where they're talking about like, you know, this is the end of an era. You know, my time is coming to the time of the. What do you say? The time of the dawn is ending. It's the time of the twilight or something like that. Ragnarok's coming. Mitch, you here?
I don't know why my fucking mic was muted. I don't know when I muted it, but yes, that's indeed what he said. I'm over here talking and everything. Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you now. Yeah.
But yes, that's indeed. Yeah, he said it's end of the dawn is now. We're now in twilight.
Yeah. Of course, then we get to episode 11. Of course, episode 11 is where we actually find out. That's when what you were talking about before, Mitch. The dude shows up with the message to Askeladd and his army, and they say, hey, we're trying to gather men up to recapture the prince because the prince has been captured. Ragnar's gather a bunch of men together to try to attack them. We're trying to get them together to to get our stuff back or what, to get our prince back.
Get the prince back, yeah.
Yeah, pretty much to get the prince back. So Ragnar, of course, you know, Askeladd then cuts off the head of the messenger, and Ragnar's men end up, you know, trying to attack Thorkel's forces or whatever. Thorkel releases the prince and Ragnar and the priest, right? The priest as well.
I mean, they don't try to fight them. They try to bitch them out of giving them the prince. And then fucking Thorkel is like, nah, nigga, I'll give you the prince right now. Run me my fade still, though.
Yeah, because all Thorkel at the end of the day wants is just he wants to fight, man. He wants to die. He wants to die on the glorious battlefield is what he wants or whatever.
You know how scared I would be if like the nigga gave me what I wanted and was like, no, we still running the fade though. Like,
bro, that moment
you're not getting out of this. He's catching these hands.
That fucking moment, that moment where he gives them to him, right? And he's like, yo, hey,
you ain't got no reason to bitch out now, bro.
Yeah, like we gave you what you want. You got your prince. Let's go, man. Let's do this up. Let's do it up. Let's do it big. And he's just like,
he's talking hella cash.
Everyone's like, no, we're good, man. You can just stay on down there.
The only nigga that was saying no was the fucking not the priest.
Oh, Ragnar. That's right. No, Ragnar was
like, no, nigga, stay over there. Gotta protect the prince. Everybody else was like, no, you're not gonna call me no bitch.
Yeah.
You personally? That nigga was. I wouldn't take that level of disrespect, is what they were all thinking. They had to go ahead and fight.
So then they end up attacking. Askeladd, of course, then reveals his plan to his team, what their goal is or whatever. They set off these fires to kind of cause a bunch of confusion and distraction to be able to get in there and take out kind of dwindle Ragnar's forces and dwindle Thorkel's forces to try to, get the prince again, to be able to return the prince, to get to claim the whatever reward they would get for returning the prince to the king. And they're successful, of course. They end up getting the prince. They end up getting Prince Canute. Prince Canute. They end up getting Prince Canute. Which, have you seen how his name is spelled?
It's like Gnaut, right?
No, bro. It's Canut.
Yuck.
It's Canute. Canute, but Canute.
That's Canute. Those letters don't make any sense.
No, letters don't mean anything.
And they don't all this is fictional.
All this is fake. All this is fake.
Even what we're doing, even us right now.
Yep. Even what we're doing right now. Even what we're doing right now.
Existential crisis, but continue.
It's kind of that's it right there. He then after they set the fire or whatever, he then sends Thorkel in to go retrieve the prince and rescue him and everything. And once they do that, Thorkel, after seeing the fire and everything, decides to tell his men to fall back, and they all kind of fall back while Thorfinn, the prince, and the priest all get away to getting back to Askeladd and his forces, and hanging out with them. And that's the end of episode 11. That's the end of episode 11. Then that, of course, was. Go ahead.
Episode 12 wasn't nearly as it was cool, but I mean it was definitely a set piece. It was a lot of slow moments. And I do want to know what the point of Askeladd, because basically what ends up happening with episode 12 is Askeladd ends up having to take the prince, and they're trying to pretty much get the prince back home safely.
Yeah.
And so they have to get across this big ass river between Wales and I believe the English Empire area. So
they had a choice, right? They had a choice to go by land or to go through the channel, right? And
they didn't really have a choice. They had to they had Thorkel behind them. They were for sure going to lose that fight. They had to fight him.
Well, I mean, you still technically had the choice, right? They still had the choice. You know what I mean? Because the way I had interpreted it was that it was a call to that was part of his plan, was to take a risk and go and see if the people of Wales will take him in and transport them across the sea to get to get into Wales, to then go from Wales to Denmark to get them back, to get the prince back to where he needs to be. Anyway, as you were saying.
Right. I don't know why he didn't tell he kept it. I mean, he kind of hinted at it. He just wants to keep them on their toes and everything like that.
Yeah.
But it seemed like it was going to be some deeper meaning to why he felt the need to keep his crew at such low morale levels. I'm because them niggas were tired. They didn't sleep for they had barely any sleep.
Yeah.
And I guess the explanation is either because they didn't really give an explanation as to why he kept his men so tired, outside of them being Thorkel's chasing us. So if that was the case, then that makes sense. But he didn't explicitly say that. Yeah. So that's one thing I was kind of confused with. I was why the fuck do you have to keep your men? Such
well, it may be. I feel like you may be confusing two episodes, because I think that was more so episode 11 or episode 10 where he kept them in, where the men were tired or whatever, and then episode
no, I'm pretty sure that was episode 12, because that's when they're running away from Thorkel, because episode 11 is them fighting Thorkel in the forest, and episode 12 is them having to walk away from him and everything like that.
Okay.
Because the end of episode, they get to Wales pretty much Wales sends some people to some boats to pick them up, and they end up getting across the channel, and then you end up seeing them go start the process of walking from Wales all the way to Denmark.
Yeah.
The episode ends with some type of forces intercepting them, and it appears there's going to be a fight at the beginning of episode 13. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah. What did you read that as? Did you read that as the people of Wales betrayed him, or did you read that as a different group of people?
I read it as... Yeah, I think so. I don't think necessarily it's the people who were from the town where the captain of the Wales army is. I don't think it's his people. I think it's a neighboring tribe or neighboring fucking forces or whatever. Yeah. They decided to pick on themselves to go ahead and attack these people because they know that the Danish are there. They might have people hidden for the Danish, because they've been meddling in their affairs according to the general.
So was that person supposed to be a Dane? Remember that the end of 12 where they flashed to the city, or they flashed to the city where or to the little town that they're heading over to, and there was the old man that was on the boat, and he happens to look up, and when he looks up he sees somebody in chains.
Nigga. Hold up. I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember what I'm talking about? Because I remember I remember watching that and being like, whoa, so is he saying that like, so like the way I read it then is that like that village had gotten taken over somehow. And maybe what happened is, so then like the way I read the entire like situation was that potentially the guy that Thorkel or Askeladd thought was cool, the guy that Askeladd thought was cool has turned sides to the English. And is actually helping out the English, not helping out the people of Wales, and they have captured all like the Danes.
The old man, the old man. All right, what was your question about him?
Is the person that he's seeing in chains? Is that supposed to be a Danish, or is that?
I think it's supposed to be Danish. I think that's the one. That's homie from the beginning of the series. That's the starts with that L. I want to say Leaf. That's fucking Sword Art.
Oh, you're talking about the old man is
the old man. I'm pretty sure that's him. And then he saw, because right now his goal is to get Askeladd back home.
Or Thorfinn back home.
Thorfinn, my bad. Thorfinn back home.
It's been some years since he probably thinks that old boy.
He thought that old. He was reminded by what that boy looks like. That's probably what. 'Cause I don't think he thought. If he thought that was Thorfinn for sure, he would have did something right then and there. He just was reminded of Thorfinn by that boy.
Hold on, let me look at it again.
Because I thought that was Thorfinn at first too. And I was like, how the fuck did we get that far that fast? What the fuck just happened?
Yeah, how the fuck did Thorfinn get attacked? Yeah.
Captured. And then it cut back to where we are now, and so I don't think.
Oh shit! Yeah. That is Leif Erikson.
And he looks at the boy and he thinks the boy is he thinks the boy is Thorfinn. It's not Thorfinn.
See, but I thought that was
just some random ass Danish nigga.
No, well, yeah, I mean, the person who got captured. Yeah, I thought it was some random ass Danish nigga. Okay. I thought this was I forgot that the old man. I guess I probably should have flashed back. I thought that was the old man from the beginning of the episode.
Oh no!
Is what I'm saying.
Who went across on the boat?
Yes. I think that was the old man from the beginning of the episode. Okay. Yeah, no, that definitely. Oh, that makes it so much more interesting. Because if you notice, right, if you look at, I mean, obviously there's some differences or whatever, but Thorfinn and the prince kind of favor each other. They kind of favor each other, right? Obviously, Thorfinn looks more like not Thorfinn, excuse me. The prince Ganut looks more has more feminine qualities than Thorfinn does, but I mean, cut Ganut's hair down, you might confuse the two. You might be able to draw it in a way that you're able to see the two of them.
Maybe, yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's actually pretty fascinating. And oh man, so what do you think that means? What do you think? What do you think?
I don't know I really don't know what the purpose of that, outside like saying that Leif Erikson's still looking for him and he's sad as a bitch that he can't find him right now.
Yeah,
I think that's the only thing that was the only point of that little segment they had right there. They didn't really provide anything else.
That's one thing. I think that's one thing that I would say that is kind of like, I would say is one gripe that I have with the show would be the fact that I feel like the passage of time, like time passes like very fast, but they don't really let you know that time is passing. Aside from
seeing people looking older.
Or not even that. I would say outside of like the beginning, like certain parts of the episode will have the such and such place, 10 AD or 1013 AD, right? And so obviously you have to remember what time period it is every single time you see one of those. And
you have the original time skip where you jump from Askeladd being a boy, or not Askeladd, but Thorfinn being a boy to like being like almost a teen. Yeah. And then you also have like that one right before like the London Bridge episode. Yeah. When they first meet Thorkel, like it's apparently just 6 months jump out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I didn't know 6 months jump forward because you also have Thorfinn's arm being fully healed by this point after being broken and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, they definitely do have those moments where they don't really do a good job of telling you with the time. Either that, or we're just not as perceptive when they do say. Because I mean, maybe if you're expecting me to remember a time frame or like a a year from episode 3 that connects to episode 6, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You got to remind me where we're at. Nothing against like the
please remind me where I'm at.
Most people aren't gonna. I think the average viewer will not remember that we're still in year 113 or 1013.
Yeah.
If it looks like we're now in year.
So then you have to go back and double check. Like I said, you know, if I had to pick a gripe, like if I had to nitpick at something, I would say that would probably be one of them. Just because like it's passage of time is kind of, to me, is kind of weird. Because like I wouldn't even. Cause like I said, I thought, you know, I just thought that they showed us an old man at the beginning of the episode, an old man at the end of the episode. I kind of thought they were the same old people, but no, that's episodes 10 through 12. I'm excited to see more. I know Mitch, it sounds like you're excited to see more. Excited to see where everything goes. Hopefully this show continues to deliver on some good stuff. Of course, next week we will be back with episodes 13 through 15. So have to come back and hang out with us and check it out. Of course, this has been twitch.tv/regulargamingguys_ your anime bros doing their anime bro thing. Let us know down in the comment section what's your favorite part of the episodes have been so far, and what's your favorite part of season 1 has been so far, and what you think, what you're looking forward to coming up here shortly. But until next time, guys, I'm Mike. That's Mitch. We'll catch y'all next time. Deuces.